to Railcraft with ElfCorp and Nos. Today we're going to be looking at high-speed rails and turnouts, or switches as they're called in the game, but I call them turnouts because I'm not American. Alright, so what do we need for this? Well, we'll make the vanilla turnouts first so we can continue on with our little vanilla theme because I'm a boring guy. Alright, so what are we going to need? We're going to need some more standard rails and a rail bed, something like that, Nos?
Yep, that's right.
We made ourselves a project table because the crummy one was annoying me, and I've moved into the modern age now. How many standard rails do we need? Do we need 8?
8.
I have 7. Fail. Steel. So we'll make some more normal rails. If you want to see how to make the steel, look behind me or go back to a previous episode. So, look at that. 8 switch tracks. I call them turnouts, but whatever. Now these things are pretty cool, because unlike the normal Minecraft, when you join up the 2 rails, it's a bit of a lottery and it's based on your north, south, east, west, blah blah blah. These ones change depending on where you place them. Now, why these are great is because you can control it with little switch motors, which we'll show you later. We'll show you in another episode. And yeah, it just generally increases the way you can control tracks. So what you need for a crowbar, I think, is a bit of steel and some colour to suit. Is that about right?
Yeah, it's got a red ribbon around it, so we'll knock up 2 crowbars, so we got 1 each. It's 3 units of iron through the middle on a diagonal.
For some reason it bugged out and gave me 8 more switch tracks. I'm going to assume at some point it's going to update and give me a crowbar.
Hopefully you can have mine for now.
Yay. Throw it over.
Advantage of crowbar is the fact that it actually pulls up tracks faster than a pick does. And it allows you to switch your tracks.
Yeah.
It allows you to couple carts together as well to make trains.
Choo-choo trains?
Not yet. Steam engines haven't been put in.
That's
but they're coming in a Railcraft update.
So there you go. So that would be a pretty crazy track if you actually routed that, but whatever. So that's pretty much all your vanilla stuff. Like, you've got some other things we'll show you in a later episode, a holding track and a boarding track or whatever, but that's pretty much your basics of the vanilla rails. So that's great, but that's kind of boring. We want to really move. I mean, I can run faster than one of these trains. So let's make some high-speed rail. Now there's a slight disclaimer: if you crash at high speed, you're going to crash and burn and blow up and blah 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 blah. But we'll ignore that for now. So what do we need for some high-speed rail? I'm assuming it'll be more mats than the regular stuff?
Lots more mats. So 8 units is going to cost you 3 steel ingots, which is less than your standard, but instead of using steel on the other side of the rolling machine, you use gold, and then we have to run blaze powder up the middle. So farming in the nether is seen in anybody's future doing Railcraft.
You sure about that? Oh, of course, and I've got to be on the bloody other table, right?
Got to be on the rolling machine to make the high-speed rail.
Really, to make any rail, I really should have learnt, but here we are. I'll make a fair bit of it because we're probably going to need it. There we go, I've got 48 high-speed rail, killing it. Now, what else do we need? Do we need the standard wooden rail beds? Oh no, we need the stone rail beds.
Stone rail bed. Something a bit more secure for high speed.
Now, the rail bed I'm looking at isn't actually stone, it's the wooden one, so we'll make up some stone rail beds. So we need some slabs, killing the slabs, and we also need something else, some rebar. Now, how do we make some rebar, Nos?
Rebar can be made similar to your rails using either steel for the moat, or you can use just straight iron or copper.
Alright.
Just makes less quantity.
So seeing as I've been dumb and used all my steel, let's make it out of iron. So how do you make up some rebar, Nos?
So that's just on the diagonal.
Is that it?
That's what
Rolling
try with the
machine.
refined iron. Of course.
Always rolling machine. There we go. So I think if you make it out of either refined iron or the steel, you get about twice as much, but I'm a cheapskate.
Yeah. It is a good way to get rid of your leftover copper, but...
True. So I've got...
As anybody running industrial craft will be swimming in that.
Yes. So I've got some stone rail beds. I've got 3 of them, which is kind of failed, but that's alright. So now let's make our high-speed rail. I'm going to assume you just take your high-speed rail and put it on the sides. Look at
Or
that.
the standard one, yeah.
Done. High-speed rail. Killing it. Same deal with the powered track, I guess? Is it the same recipe as vanilla, only with high speed?
Booster track, yeah, it's just got the stone rail bed in the center, and then you've got redstone on the top and the bottom.
There we go, look at that, I can even plop it underneath here. These things, I guess they work exactly like a normal one in that they speed you up when they're powered and they slow you down when you're not powered. That's all well and good, but the big problem with high speed is that if you run into something, you crash and die. So when you come to, say, turnouts and corners and things like that, you want to slow down. Now if you're running single direction track, then that's easy. You can just use powered and unpowered booster rails. But if you're running a bi-directional track, you're going to want a block that both speeds you up and slows you down depending on what direction you're going. And for that you need a high speed transition track. Pretty much when you run these babies, it'll speed you up from normal speed to high speed, and when you hit them going the opposite direction, it'll slow you back down again, so you can go safely around corners and that. What do we need?
It's same as the booster rail, but you just switch around the stone rail bed, put that in the bottom slot, and put redstone in the middle.
Okie dokie, that's pretty easy. So you can see straight away, like, the standard mats just do everything. Oh, okay, there you go. I love that. Corrected. And you can see the arrows, so if you use your convenient crowbar, you can reverse the direction. So if you imagine you're coming from here, and you power it, boosts you up to high speed. Now you're going to need about 8 of them to get up to your top speed, so you really got to have a nice big chain of them. And if you're coming this way, even when powered, it'll slow you down to slow speed. So powered doesn't matter when you're slowing down, but you obviously need it when you're speeding up. Easy. And the last block we're going to look at here is the switch, or the turnout, or whatever you want to call it. Is that set up the same way?
That is just 8 units of high-speed rail, and then stone rail bed in the top center.
Okie dokie, so I've got some more stone rail bed. Not the phony kind, but the real kind. Some high-speed rail. There we go, high-speed switch track. Now, despite the names, you can go a little bit quicker than normal switch track, but if you rip around this at max speed, you'll crash and die. But you know, if you're a bit of a, someone who loves that kind of danger, then good on you. I'm sure you'll thoroughly enjoy it. But you know, that's for you, not me. I'm a pussy. So that all works the same. Too easy. Now, how do we switch these switches? Because, as you can see, they're either set to normal or reverse. Reverse being the opposite track. I don't know what Minecraft called it, but in the real world, the non-straight one is called your reverse. So we want to set these points to reverse. So I'd love to just be able to pull up this convenient redstone lamp and put it on there, but that doesn't cut it. What we need is a switch motor. For switch motors, we require some ink and a bloody circuit and all that kind of thing, which is a bit heavy. And we'll go through how to make circuits a bit later on. So what we're going to do now is just make a switch lever or whatever it is. So it uses a lever in place of the circuit. Switch lever. Bone meal. Bit of rose red. A little something that Nos picked earlier.
When you let me out of the house, yeah.
I never let you out of the house. Get in my kitchen. Piston. Wherever they are. Can you grab where are piston? What else do we need? A bit of iron, a good measure, and a lever. Do you have a lever? Good stuff. There we go. Switch lever. Now these are manual points switching doohickeys. So right click on it, look at that. Isn't that just hot as? And all of a sudden you are just whipping Minecraft. This is where it really kicks off for Railcraft. We've got all of our different basic kinds of track, turnouts, and something to change it around. Next episode we're going to look at some of the advanced tracks. You're holding, one way, disembarking, embarking, and that kind of jazz. So yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.
See you.